Okay, good evening, students. So today we are going to start a new chapter. Okay, second chapter on organic chemistry. We are going to start with your alcohols, phenols, and ethers. Okay, again, it's a major chapter. Okay, we can expect some important questions from this particular chapter. Okay, in your board level. Okay, so classification of alcohols. Classification, I'm not going to go into details because classification we have already done in the first chapter, and it's the same thing. I'm just going to recapitulate the things which we have done in the first chapter. Okay, classification of alcohols. Okay, now see, classification we have classified on the basis of hybridization of carbon atom. Yes, classification we have classified on the basis of number of functional groups. Okay, so there are various ways in which we can classify an alcohol. We can classify it in the type of carbon atom to which the OH group is attached, a primary, secondary, tertiary alcohol. Fine, so I'm just going to go through it quickly. So what is a primary alcohol then? Okay, what is a primary alcohol? When the OH group is attached to a primary carbon atom like this, when the OH group is attached to a primary carbon or a 1-degree carbon like this, okay, it's attached to a 1-degree carbon, it's known as a primary alcohol. Fine. So what is a 2-degree alcohol? When the OH group is attached to a secondary carbon. Okay, there is a 2-degree carbon. If the OH is attached to a 2-degree carbon, it is known as a 2-degree alcohol or a secondary alcohol. Got it? Similarly, when the functional group, namely a OH group, is attached to a tertiary carbon, when it is attached to a tertiary carbon, it is known as a tertiary alcohol. Okay, so these are the classification of alcohols on the basis, okay, of which the OH group is attached to the type of carbon atom. If it is attached to a 1-degree carbon, 1-degree alcohol. If it is attached to a 2-degree carbon, 2-degree alcohol. And if it is attached to a 3-degree carbon, it's known as a 3-degree alcohol. Okay, it's quite simple. Now, classification on the basis of hybridization. Okay, now once more, once more on the same lines. Now, if we have this, we have CH2 double bond, CH single bond, CH2 OH. So what is this type of carbon atom known as? sp3 attached to an sp2 hybridized carbon atom. This is known as a allylic carbon atom. Okay, so we have done it before. This carbon is known as a allylic carbon atom. So if a OH group is attached to an allylic carbon atom, what is an allylic carbon atom? Yes, we already have done this. Allylic carbon means sp3 attached to an sp2 hybridized carbon atom. This is known as allylic carbon. So if we have an OH group attached to an allylic carbon, it comes under the category of allyl alcohol. It comes under the category of allyl alcohol. Okay. So similarly, if we have a OH group attached to a sp2 hybridized carbon atom directly like this. So this comes under which category? This carbon is known as a vinylic carbon. So this is known as a vinylic alcohol or vinyl alcohol. It's known as a vinyl alcohol. Same as in the case of a alkyl halides. Okay. Now, if we have a benzene ring to which a CH2 group is attached, okay, and sp3 hybridized carbon atom attached to a benzene ring is known as a benzylic carbon, and this group is known as a benzyl group. This group is known as a benzyl group. Okay, so if we have an OH group attached to this benzylic carbon, it's known as a benzyl alcohol. It is known as a benzyl alcohol. So classification, yes, is the same as in the case of your alkyl halides. Okay, primary, secondary, tertiary, allylic, okay, vinylic, benzylic. Fine. Okay, and yes, what are this type of diols known as? What are this type of diol? These are known as a diols. So these are known as a diols because there are two OH groups. So what are these diols known as? Yes, when the OH group is attached to two adjacent carbon atoms. When the OH group is attached
Vicinal
to,
diol.
yes, vicinal diols. Very good. These are known as a vicinal diols. These are known as a vicinal. These are known as a vicinal diols. So see, if you have learned the first chapter properly, it's not an issue at all. Yes. Now, what about this CH2OH? Say OH. Here, the OH groups are attached to the same carbon atom. So, what are these type of diols known as? These are known
Geminal
as here
diols.
geminal diols. These are known as here geminal diols. Okay, so classification is exactly the same. Okay, and if you have finished this, you can tell me the name. So now remember, OH is a functional group, and when we name it, okay, so remember the longest continuous chain must include the functional group, right? The longest continuous chain of carbon atom is, it must include the functional group. Okay, it must include the functional group. So yes, the longest continuous carbon chain will be this. It contains longest continuous carbon, 3 carbon atoms. So okay, I start numbering from this end or this end. It means it will be the same. So yes, what is the word root? Propane. Where are the OH groups present? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. How many? 3. So try. Yes, all. So propane 1, 2, 3. Try all will be the IUPAC name. Okay. Now what about this now? So remember again, I am telling you the longest continuous carbon chain must include the functional group. The longest continuous carbon chain must include the functional group. Okay. So, and the longest continuous chain of carbon atom must include the functional group as well. So if I start numbering from here 1, 2, 3, okay, then yes, what will happen? The functional group will get the functional group will get number 3. But I start numbering from here, the functional group will get number 2. So obviously, where will it start from? We'll start from here. Okay, priority. What is the priority order? First priority is given to functional group, followed by double bond, followed by triple bond, then last may substituent. So this is the order of priority. So priority must always be given to the functional group. So we'll start numbering from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the substituents. This is methyl. This is ethyl. So which will you name first? Obviously, we'll name the substituent first. Which comes first in the alphabetical order. So what will be the IUPAC naming? Just tell me. What will be the IUPAC of this compound? Ethyl first. So it will be 3
3-ethyl,
ethyl, then
5-methyl, hex,
okay,
2, 4
X,
diol.
hexane,
Hexane
hexane,
2,
yes,
4 diol.
2, 4 diol. Hexane 2, 4 diol. Good. Okay. Now out here, where will I start numbering from? If I start numbering from this end, the double bond, the functional group will get 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll start obviously numbering from this end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The longest continuous carbon chain contains here 5 carbon atoms. Okay. Okay, so this is the longest continuous carbon chain. This is the substituent. Where is the substituent present? Number 3. So I'll just write down his name. What will be the name? 3-methyl pent. Okay, double bond starts at number 2. Pent 2 in, okay, 2 OH groups, 1, 2 diol. So 3-methyl pent, double bond starts from number 2, pent 2 in 1, 2, there are 2 OH groups, so diol. 1, 2 diol. Okay. But what about this last compound now? So when the OH group is directly attached, okay, when the OH group is directly attached to a benzene ring, it's named as phenol. Right? So the base name is phenol. So obviously the carbon atom containing the functional group will get higher priority. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how we number. Right? Okay, so numbering. So the functional group should get the lowest number. So yes, it should be 2, 5 dimethyl phenol. It should be 2, 5 dimethyl phenol. So all the rules are exactly the same. Okay. So just remember out here, OH now acts as a functional group. When you number, okay, remember the priority is always given to the functional group. Then second double bond, then substituents. Other rules, it will remain the same. Other rules are the same. Okay. So try to do it on your own. Okay. So nomenclature part, please try to do it on your own. You have to. Okay. So listen very carefully. Yeah, this topic is going to be very important. Right? So the topic, yes, we'll be studying is a preparation of alcohols. Preparation of alcohols. Okay, so number one preparation, straight away, number one preparation, which we are going to study is preparation from Grignard reagent. Right? From Grignard reagent. Okay, preparation of alcohols from Grignard reagent. Preparation of alcohols from Grignard reagent. So before I go into details, remember Grignard reagent has this general formula RNGX. So in case of Grignard reagent, we have a carbon metal bond. Okay, a carbon is directly attached to a metal. And these class of compounds where a carbon is directly attached to a metal, these class of compounds are known as a organometallic compounds. So Grignard reagent is a class of organometallic compounds. So what are organic metallic compounds? These are compounds in which a carbon is directly attached to a metal like this. Okay, carbon is directly attached to a metal. These are known as your organometallic compounds. So Grignard reagent, remember, it's a class of your organometallic compounds. And obviously metals are electropositive. Metals have a tendency to lose electrons. So this bond is polar in nature, where magnesium being metal has a partial positive charge and the alkyl group or the carbon atom has a partial negative charge like this. So remember, this bond is polar in nature. Right? The carbon more electronegative than metal. It has a negative charge and the metal has a positive charge like this. Okay. So first of all, we shall study how do we prepare a primary alcohol, 1 degree alcohol. 1 degree alcohol. Fine. So listen very carefully. Now, when Grignard reagents are treated with this aldehyde. What is the name of this aldehyde? What is the name of this aldehyde? It's formaldehyde. This aldehyde is known as a formaldehyde. Okay, when Grignard reagent is treated with formaldehyde and the IUPAC name is methanol. Common name is formaldehyde, it's methanol. So very easy thing. Now we know this bond is polar in nature, where the magnesium is the positive part and the alkyl group is the negative part. And remember, in aldehydes and ketones, the CO group is also polar in nature. Why? On account of electronegativity difference between oxygen and carbon. We know oxygen is highly electronegative, so it will occur a partial negative charge, and this carbon will occur a partial positive charge. So what type of reactions will occur? Here nucleophilic addition will occur. Okay, addition reaction will occur. So where will this negative part add? These negative part, where will this alkyl group add? These alkyl group will add to the positively charged carbon atom like this. Negative will add to the positive part and positive will add to the electronegative oxygen part like this first. Okay, so what do we get? We get What do we get? We get H. Addition, as addition occurs, okay, double bond will be reduced to single bond like this, OMGX, OMGX. We have H out here. Finally, an alkyl group is added to this carbon. So we get this, okay, the negative part adds to the positively charged carbon atom. Now, when this is hydrolyzed in presence of an acid, when this undergoes acidic hydrolysis, hey, remember, in acidic hydrolysis, this MgH will be replaced by H. So what do you get? We get H, C, OH, H, R. Or I can write this compound as R, CH2OH. So this is a class of 1 degree alcohol. So how can you prepare 1 degree alcohol starting from Grignard reagent when a Grignard reagent is treated with which aldehyde? Formaldehyde. Okay, when Grignard reagent reacts with formaldehyde, we followed by acidic hydrolysis, we get a 1 degree alcohol. And remember, where does this R part come from? Where has this R part come from? R part? Where has this R part come from? Where does this R part come from? So the reaction is RMGX reaction with formaldehyde followed by acidic hydrolysis will give us RCH2H. Where does this R part come from? This R part has come from here. Yes, this R part has come from here. Grignard reagent. This is how we need to remember the reaction. So any Grignard reagent, when it's treated with formaldehyde, will give you a 1 degree alcohol having the formula RCH2H, whereby this R part comes from a Grignard reagent. So if you are asked this question now, RCH2H, okay, you must remember RCH2OH. So yes, if I am supposed to prepare this CH3, CH, CH3, CH2OH. Okay, what is the IUPAC name of this compound, by the way? What is the IUPAC name of this compound? It's, yes, what is the IUPAC name of this compound? It is 2-methyl-propanol, or I can say it's iso group is present, so isobutyl alcohol. Yes, iso group is present out of isobutyl alcohol. So I think it's a 1 degree alcohol. Yes, this OH group is attached to a 1 degree carbon. It's a 1 degree alcohol. So if the question comes in an exam, how will you prepare this particular alcohol starting from Grignard reagent? Okay, how are you going to prepare this starting from Grignard reagent? First, when I have a look, so I realize that there is a 1 degree alcohol. Now I know at the back of my mind, whenever I need to prepare 1 degree alcohol from Grignard reagent, one compound is fixed. I have to use formaldehyde. Okay, I have to use formaldehyde. Plus, what is the R part out here? RCH2H. What is the R part out here? What is the R part? Iso part is the R part. So RCH2OH. Where does this R part come from? This R part comes from a Grignard reagent. So what is the Grignard reagent we'll use out here? Yes, what is the Grignard reagent we are going to use out here? CH3, CH, CH3, Mg, Br. Obviously, you should not follow this, followed by acidic hydrolysis. So I'm writing down both, I'm combining both the steps. Okay. So the final, I'm just writing down the final product out, followed by acidic hydrolysis. What it? So any 1 degree alcohol can be prepared by treating your Grignard reagent with your formaldehyde. Okay. So if you know the structure of alcohol, then we can easily predict कौन सा Grignard reagent use करना है. But this compound is fixed. This compound is more or less fixed. Okay, formaldehyde plus Grignard reagent followed by acidic hydrolysis will give you 1 degree alcohol. Okay, so if the question comes, how will you prepare, say, tertiary butyl alcohol? Okay. So how are you going to prepare, say, propan-1-ol using a suitable Grignard reagent? Propan-1-ol using a suitable Grignard reagent. How are you going to prepare propan-1-ol? Propan-1-ol means CH3, CH2, CH2, OH. Okay, so this is a 1 degree alcohol again. So if it's a 1 degree alcohol, one compound, I must use this formaldehyde. So what is the R part out here? So RMgX plus formaldehyde gives us RCH2OH. It gives us, what is the general formula of the alcohol prepared? RCH2OH. Don't get confused, right? RCH2OH. And this R part comes from your Greek nitrogen. So what is the R part out here? R part is the ethyl part, RCH2OH. So this R part must come from Greek nitrogen. So what is the Greek nitrogen we'll be using out here? CH3, CH2, Mg, Br followed by acidic hydrolysis, followed by acidic hydrolysis like this. And remember, okay, and remember out here, whatever questions we might expect out here is, and we know, yes, at the back of our mind, what do we know? We can prepare Grignard reagent starting from your alkyl halides, right? Okay, starting from alkyl halides. So if this type of question comes, how will you convert, say, ethanol to propanol? Okay, ethanol to propanol. So ethanol contains 2 carbon atom, propanol contains 3 carbon atom. So we must add an extra carbon atom. Okay, so yes, if we treat this with a Grignard reagent, we can add an extra carbon atom. So how will you proceed? How are you going to do this? So ethanol, yes, we have CH3, CH2OH. Okay, so first I need to prepare Grignard reagent, so I'll convert this into an alkyl halide like this, CH3, CH2Cl. Okay, from the alkyl halides, I can easily prepare Grignard reagent like this, right? Magnesium ether. So CH3, CH2, MgCl. Okay, now in order to prepare propanol, yes, what will I do? I'll treat this with formaldehyde like this. I must treat this with formaldehyde. Number 1. Number 2, followed by acidic hydrolysis. Yes, so I already have 2 carbon atom out here. If I treat this with formaldehyde, an extra carbon will be added. So again, same thing, RMgX plus formaldehyde will give us what? RCH3CH2, yes, RCH2OH. So via this route, what are we doing? We are preparing a 1 degree alcohol from another 1 degree alcohol. Okay, but after adding an extra carbon atom like this, right? Okay, ethanol to propanol. Say propan-1-ol to butan-1-ol. We can do this. Methanol to ethanol. So we can add, we can prepare a 1 degree alcohol having an extra carbon atom via this route. Okay, we can prepare a 1 degree alcohol having a extra carbon atom like this. Okay, so ethanol to propan-1-ol. We can follow this route. So yes, we have studied just one basic reaction. How do you prepare 1 degree alcohol then? When Grignard reagents are treated with formaldehyde, okay, we get a 1 degree alcohol. Like this. So similarly, how or is it possible to prepare a 2 degree alcohol? Let us see. Okay, is it possible to prepare a 2 degree alcohol starting from Grignard reagent? Let us see. Okay. So these few reactions are going to be really important. These reactions are going to be really important now. Okay. So 2 degree alcohol. Okay. Now we need to prepare 2 degree alcohol. So how are you going to prepare 2 degree alcohol? Remember, aldehyde other than formaldehyde. So now I must use an aldehyde other than formaldehyde, because if I use formaldehyde, I'll be getting which alcohol? I'll be getting 1 degree alcohol. So instead of formaldehyde, I can use any other aldehyde other than formaldehyde. Okay. Plus Grignard reagent plus R. So I'll write down R prime MgX. So these 2 alkyl groups may be different as well. So yes. Okay, so if you need the mechanism, Okay, if you need to know the how the reaction occurs, then again, it is the positive part, this is the negative part. It's very easy. In aldehyde, oxygen is electronegative, so negative, positive. So what will happen? The negative part will add it to the positive part will add to the negative part. Okay, it's so easy. So what do we get? We get R C O M G X. So this R prime is going to add to this carbon atom. So here I will be writing R prime straight away. Fine. CH, this R prime is getting added to this carbon. Now yes, after hydrolyze this with an acid, after carrying out acidic hydrolysis, what do I get? Yes, MgX will be replaced by H. So RCHOH R prime. Yes, what do we get? We get the 2-degree alcohol. So remember, okay, remember, we get a 2-degree alcohol, okay, where one alkyl group, where does one alkyl group come from? One alkyl group comes from your aldehyde and the other alkyl group comes from your Grignard resin. So in 2-degree alcohols, we have two alkyl groups, whereby one alkyl group comes from your aldehyde and the other alkyl group comes from your Grignard resin. Okay. So if I treat, say, ethanol or acetaldehyde, the common name of this compound is acetaldehyde, with, say, methyl magnesium bromide. So I'll straight away combine these two steps followed by acidic hydrolysis. So one thing I need to discuss out here, okay, so before I go into details, I'll just discuss this thing out here. So this thing needs to be clear. So we know the functional group in alcohol is CH2 is OH. So 1-degree alcohol we have RCH2OH. 2-degree alcohol we have RCHOH. This carbon is attached to two alkyl groups like this. And in tertiary alcohol, the carbon atom is attached to 3 alkyl groups like this. So please remember this basic fact that in 1-degree alcohol, what is the functional group? OH ही होगा, लेकिन degree alcohol, CH2OH is always present in 1-degree alcohol. In 2-degree alcohol, yes, what is present? CHOH grouping is present in 2-degree alcohol. It's present in 2-degree alcohol, CHOH. If we have a CHOH grouping, it means we have a 2-degree alcohol. And in tertiary alcohols, what do we have? In tertiary alcohols, we have a COH grouping. Okay, simple thing. Eh? In all the cases, OH groups are present. But yes, 1-degree alcohol means CH2OH has to be present. 2-degree alcohol means CHOH has to be present. And tertiary alcohol, COH has to be present. Now, I know if I treat any other aldehyde with a Grignard reagent, if I treat any aldehyde other than formaldehyde, if I treat any aldehyde with a Grignard reagent, what will I get? Yes, I know the product already. What will I get? I'll get a 2-degree alcohol. What is the functional group in 2-degree alcohol? I'll just draw CHOH like this. Okay, because I know any other aldehyde than formaldehyde plus Grignard reagent will give you a 2-degree. Give you the 2-degree alcohol CHOH. Now, what are the two alkyl groups? One of the alkyl group comes from your Grignard reagent. What is one of the alkyl group? Methyl. It comes from your Grignard reagent. So yes, I'm going to write down one methyl group out here. Which has come from Grignard reagent. And the other alkyl group comes from your aldehyde. What is the other alkyl group? CH3. So one more CH3, I'm going to write it out here. Got it? So this is my product. Propan-2-ol. This is my product. So this is how I'll draw the structure of the product, because what do I need to remember then? I need to remember just this general reaction. Grignard reagent plus aldehyde other than formaldehyde will give me a 2-degree alcohol. What is the functional group in 2-degree alcohol? CHOH. There are how many alkyl groups are there? 2. Where does one alkyl group come from? Grignard reagent. Where does the other alkyl group come from? Aldehyde. Just, okay, you can easily draw the product. Okay. Now, so okay. So starting from acetaldehyde by using a suitable Grignard reagent. By using a suitable Grignard reagent, how will you prepare this compound? Okay, how are you going to prepare this compound? By treating ethanol or acetaldehyde by using a suitable Grignard. So which Grignard reagent will you choose, and how are you going to choose the Grignard reagent? How are you going to choose the
bromide?
Okay, so I have a 2-degree alkyl group, 2-degree alcohol. Yes, one of the alkyl group, this methyl group has come from your aldehyde. So what is the other alkyl group? What is the other alkyl group? Ethyl. These other alkyl group must come from where? It must come from where? One alkyl group, it has come from aldehyde. Fine. Grignard reagent. Excellent. So which Grignard reagent are we going to use? We are going to use CH3. Yes, ethyl magnesium bromide, ethyl magnesium chloride, whichever you like, or ethyl magnesium iodide. But it's so easy. It's so easy. It's so easy like this. Okay, so depending upon the try to do this again. Okay. So what is the common name of this aldehyde? It's known as CH group attached to benzene. It's known as a benzaldehyde. It's known as a benzaldehyde. Okay. So let us not make this complicated. Okay, so again, it's very easy. So I know any aldehyde other than formaldehyde. Formaldehyde use करने से तो I'll be getting 1-degree alcohol. Excepting formaldehyde. Okay, if I use any aldehyde, if I treat any aldehyde other than formaldehyde with Grignard reagent, what will I get? I'll get a 2-degree alcohol. So I'll draw the functional group of 2-degree alcohol out here. CHOH like this. I'll draw a 2-degree alcohol. So there are 2 R groups. One of the R group must come from a Grignard reagent. Okay, I'll draw one R group which has come from a Grignard reagent. And one of the R group must come from a L. What is the R group out here? What is the R group out here? Yes? R, CHO. Yes, phenyl group. So I'll draw phenyl group out here. I'll draw phenyl group out here. Yes, this is the product. Yes, it's a 2-degree alcohol. It's a 2-degree alcohol. Okay, so what is the IUPAC name? Longest functional chain 1, 2. So 1 phenyl ethan 1 all. 1 phenyl ethan 1 all. It's so easy. Okay, so now we have learned 2 very so preparation of tertiary alcohol, 3-degree alcohols. Tertiary alcohol. Okay, so when a ketone is treated with a Grignard reagent, when a ketone is treated with a Grignard reagent like this. Okay, so now in order to prepare tertiary alcohol, we treat a ketone with a Grignard reagent. Again, the mechanism is same. So this is the positive part, this is the negative part. So oxygen is the negative part, this carbon is the positive part. So negative part gets added to the positive part gets added to the negative part like this. So yes, what do I get? I get RCOMgX negative positive. I have one R and one alkyl group from the Grignard reagent will add to this carbon atom like this. When this is hydrolyzed in presence of an acid, acidic hydrolysis, CrOH R dash. So yes, COH means yes, tertiary alcohols are being formed. So remember tertiary alcohols, how many alkyl groups are there? There are 3 alkyl groups. Okay. So Out of the 3 alkyl group, 1 alkyl group must come from a Grignard reagent. The other 2 alkyl group must come from a ketone like this. Okay, so yes, now let us solve a few question answers now. Say, what happens when acetone? Okay, what is the IUPAC name? Propanone, and the common name is acetone. And now it's high time we remember the common name. What happens when acetone is treated with Grignard reagent followed by acidic hydrolysis? What happens when ketone is treated with Grignard reagent followed by acidic hydrolysis? Now I know ketone plus Grignard reagent will give you a tertiary alcohol. So I'll write down the COH plus tertiary alcohol. Yes, this grouping has to be present. Now I must add 3 alkyl groups. One of the alkyl group comes from a Grignard reagent, CS3. Chalo, I'll write down CS3, which has come from Grignard reagent. The other 2 alkyl groups must come from a ketone. What are the other 2 alkyl groups from ketone? CS3, CS3 again. Yes, I'll write down CS3, CS3. Yes, it's so easy. It's so easy like this. First, I do a tertiary alcohol, COH. 3 alkyl groups, 1 alkyl group from Grignard reagent, the other 2 alkyl group from your ketone. Okay. Now kindly you try to do this on your own now. Cyclohexanone. Okay, this cyclohexanone plus CH3MgBr followed by acidic hydrolysis. Chalo, give it a try.
1-methyl cyclohexanol.
Exactly, excellent. Okay, excellent. Now see, if you are confused, so this ketone. So I know the answer already. I know the answer. Tertiary alcohol form hona chahiye. Okay, I know the answer. Anyhow, if you are confused like this, so what will I suggest you now? You add it. Which is the negative part? This is the positive part, electronegativity difference. This bond is polar, positive, negative. Whenever you are confused, you add it. So negative, I'm going to add to the positive part. Positive, I'm going to add to the negative part. So as soon as I add it, here I'll be getting this negative is added to this carbon. So 1 CH3 out here. Oxygen OMgBr. Fine. This upon acidic hydrolysis. What do I get? I get MgBr. Yes, I know that M get replaced by OH. It's going to be replaced by OH like this. So what do I get? What is the IUPAC name? The IUPAC name is 1-methyl. It's 1-methyl cyclohexanol. 1-methyl cyclohexanol. IUPAC name is 1-methyl cyclohexanol. Got it? So whenever you are confused like this, you can just add it. If you add, the things get simplified. Or if simple compounds are given, no need to add as well. Okay, we can directly predict the product like this. So in this segment, yes, we have learned a very important agent, okay, about the oxidizing agent and the reducing agent. We shall be developing the concept. Now we should learn, we should now remember what are the common oxidizing agents used. Well, we should remember all these things. Okay, so what is the series I was talking about? What was the series I was talking about? Now see, if I start with which alcohol is this? Which alcohol is this? I have drawn the structure of which alcohol? It's a 1-degree alcohol. So 1-degree alcohol upon oxidation. 1-degree alcohol upon oxidation. Okay, we get an aldehyde like this. So 1-degree alcohol, oxidation alcohol means CH2OH group gets oxidized to CHO group. Okay, and these on further oxidation will give us carboxylic acid. These on further oxidation will give us carboxylic acid. So yes, the oxidation can be stopped at this stage, or the oxidation will proceed to this stage depending upon the nature of oxidizing agent which we use. oxidizing agent which we use. Okay. Now, what is the reverse of oxidation? Reduction. So carboxylic acids upon reduction will give us aldehyde. Okay, and this aldehyde on reduction will give us. So although it's very difficult to stop the reduction at this stage, right? Okay, the reduction will proceed to the 1 degree alcohol stage. So how are you going to prepare 1 degree alcohol? By reduction of aldehyde. How are you going to prepare 1 degree alcohol? By reduction of carboxylic acids. Got it? So if you remember this series, things are going to get simplified. How do you prepare aldehyde? Oxidation of 1 degree alcohol. How do you prepare carboxylic acid? Oxidation of 1 degree alcohol or oxidation of aldehyde. Fine. Now, similarly, if I use 2 degree alcohol. So this is a very important. So 2 degree alcohol upon oxidation will give us ketone. Will give us ketone. Whereas ketone upon reduction will give us 2 degree alcohol. Okay, and tertiary alcohols, they do not undergo oxidation easily. Okay, so tertiary alcohols, they do not undergo oxidation. This series is going to be really important. So how are you going to remember it? CH2OH oxidize, okay, CHO banega aldehyde, CHO oxidize, okay, COH. COH reduction, okay, CHO reduce, okay, CH2OH. 2 degree alcohol oxidation means CHOH group is getting oxidized to C double bond O group. Ketone reduced to 2 degree alcohol means CO group is getting reduced to CHOH group. You have to remember this. Just look at the transformation of the functional group. CH2OH group. Okay, to CHO group. CHO to COOH group. This functional groups are changing. Out here, CHOH group. CHOH group gets oxidized to C double bond O group, or C double bond O group gets reduced to CHOH group. But if you remember things, half of the things are done in organic chemistry. Trust me. We have covered so many topics out here. Okay, now, since we are alcohols, yes, how can we prepare 1 degree alcohol? By reduction of acid, by reduction of aldehyde. How can you prepare 2 degree alcohol? By reduction of ketone. How can you prepare 2 degree alcohol? By reduction of ketone. Got it? So oxidation and reduction, they are just the opposite of each other, right? So I think you copied this. Okay. So you need to remember this thing is going to be, so we prepared from Greek nitrogen number 1. So number 2, reduction of carbonyl compounds. So number 2 topic is going to be by reduction of carbonyl compounds. So carbonyl compounds means, yes, aldehydes and ketones, they together are known as a carbonyl compound. And this group, remember, CO group, which is present in aldehyde as well as in ketone, this is known as a carbonyl group. Right? This group is known as a carbonyl group. Okay, so reduction of carbonyl compounds. The topic says by reduction of carbonyl compounds. It says reduction of. So what are the common reducing agents used? What are the common reducing agents we'll be using? What are the common reducing agents? What are the common reducing agents? Okay, so reducing agents which we will be using is acid catalyzed reduction, catalyzed reduction, reduction hydrogen in the presence of a catalyst such as nickel. Okay, hydrogen in the presence of a catalyst such as platinum, palladium. Fine, these are reducing agents. Okay. So the other reducing agents are lithium aluminium hydride, LiAlHO. This is known as a lithium aluminium hydride. It's known as a lithium aluminium hydride. Okay, lithium aluminium hydride. The other reducing agent which we used are sodium borohydride. It's known as a sodium boro. So there are many other reducing agents used. So I'm talking about common reducing agent. Okay, I'm talking about a common reducing agent. Okay. Say other reducing agents is sodium in presence of ethyl alcohol. Okay. So among this reducing agent, this lithium aluminum hydride is quite an important reducing agent. Okay. Why is it important? Because it is a non-selective reducing agent. Lithium aluminum hydride is a non-selective reducing agent. Okay. Non-selective means it will reduce aldehyde, it will reduce ketone, it will reduce nitriles, it will reduce esters, it will reduce almost all the reducible functional groups. It will reduce all the reducible functional groups. But remember, lithium aluminum hydride, it does not reduce, it does not affect carbon-carbon double bond. It does not affect a carbon-carbon double bond. Whereas this sodium borohydride, so it's very important, it's very ancient. It's a selective reducing agent. It's a selective reducing agent. Okay, so it reduces only aldehyde, ketone, and acid chloride. It reduces only this. Okay, whereas is does not reduce, it does not reduce your esters, your nitriles, etc. So this piece of information, please remember it. Okay, so what are we studying right now? Okay, we are studying preparation of alcohols. How do we prepare alcohol? Yes, by reduction of carbonyl compounds. So by reduction of carbonyl compounds, yes, fine. But what are the common reducing agents used? What are the reducing agents used? These are the reducing agents used. And main important is going to be this. Fine, all are important. Lithium aluminum hydride, remember, it does not affect the carbon-carbon double bond. Apart from this carbon-carbon double bond, it reduces almost all the other functional groups. It reduces all the other functional groups. Okay, what about sodium borohydride? It reduces, it's a selective reducing agent. It reduces only aldehydes and ketones and acid chloride. Okay, apart from these three, it does not reduce any other functional group. It does not reduce any other functional group. Okay, so let us see what does this mean. Fine, let us see what does this mean. Okay. Which functional group? CHO reduce. Okay, 1 degree alcohol means what? CHO2?
CH2OH.
Excellent. CH2OH. Very good. Plus CHO gets reduced to CH2OH group. And ketone CO group gets reduced to 2 degree alcohol. Ketone gets reduced to 2 degree alcohol. 2 degree alcohol, abhi bataya maine which functional group is present? CHOH. Reduction means what? Addition of hydrogen. देखो ना, hydrogen is added across the double bond. One hydrogen is added out, one hydrogen is added out. Bas. It's addition of hydrogen. Okay. And carboxylic acid group, reduction again. We know carboxylic acid group upon reduction again will give you 1 degree alcohol. Okay, now let us see now. Say if I take say an aldehyde, acetaldehyde, if I treat this with any reducing agent, say if I treat this with hydrogen and nickel, yes, how are you going to write down the product? I don't need to memorize each and every reaction. Eh? So here I have seen that yes, an aldehyde is given. Yes, this is a reducing agent. Aldehyde reduce okay, kya banega? How do I write down the product? Aldehyde reduce okay, kya banega? CHO reduce okay, kya banega? Just remember this. CHO reduce okay, CH2H. So I'm going to write down CH3 as it is. And in the presence of this reducing agent, CHO will get reduced to, yes, CH2OH. It's 1 degree alcohol. It's so easy. You have to remember in this way. Otherwise, things will get complicated like this. So CHO reduce, okay, CH2H. Bas, that's all. Okay. So if I give you a ketone now, CH3, CO double bond O, CH3. Now, if I give you any other reducing agent, say if I give you a reducing agent such as here lithium aluminum hydride, what will you do? Yes, this is a reducing agent. I know ketone है, reducing agent है. ओके क्या होगा? हाइड्रोजन ऐड होगा, एक हाइड्रोजन यहाँ पर ऐड होगा, एक हाइड्रोजन यहाँ पर ऐड होगा, और कीटोन रिडक्शन होके क्या बनेगा? 2 डिग्री अल्कोहल. ये पता है मुझे. एल्डिहाइड रिड्यूशन होके 1 डिग्री अल्कोहल, कीटोन रिड्यूस होके 2 डिग्री अल्कोहल. 2 डिग्री अल्कोहल means yes, I'll draw CHOH group like this. Then I'll draw 2 alkyl groups which are present. Yes, as simple as this. Okay, so aldehyde to 1 degree alcohol, ketone to a 2 degree alcohol. Remember, ketone Grignard reagent will give you a 3 degree alcohol, but ketone upon reduction will give you a 2 degree alcohol. Just you need to remember this one. So these are very, 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 very important. These needs to be remembered. These needs to be remembered. Aldehyde reduction, okay, CH2H, 1 degree alcohol. Ketone reduce, okay, 2 degree alcohol. Carboxylic acid reduce, okay, तुम्हारा 1 degree alcohol. But if you remember this, you can do any problem. Okay, we shall be able to do any problem. Okay, now let us see. So I'll give you some more examples now. Okay, so we must remember these things. Say reduction agent reduce. Okay, कौन सा फंक्शन ग्रुप किस में ट्रांसफॉर्म होगा? Okay. So let's solve some question answers now. Okay. So CH3 CH double bond CH single bond C double bond OH. Okay, so I'm going to reduce this using 2 reducing agents. First, I'm going to use lithium aluminum hydride. Second, I'm going to use hydrogen nickel. Okay, so remember what I have written before. Okay, so next, say cyclohexanone. Okay, reduction with say lithium aluminum hydride. Fine. Say next is here benzaldehyde. Say reduction with say sodium borohydride. So next I'm going to give you this. I'm going to discuss this once more. Okay, now let us try to solve this. Okay, so I've given you 4 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. Okay. So with the concept we have developed right now, we'll be able to solve this. So I know aldehyde will be reduced to, these are reducing agent. CHO again reduce होके क्या बनेगा? CH2OH group. Ketone है ये CO group, ये reduce होके CHOH बनेगा. CHO reducing agent CH2OH बनेगा. यहाँ पर दो फंक्शनल ग्रुप, एक कीटोन है, reduce होके CHOH बनेगा. यहाँ पर एस्टर भी है, there is an ester functional group. I'll discuss this later on. So now you tell me lithium aluminum hydride will reduce this CHO group to what? CH2OH group. But what have we written earlier? Does it affect the carbon-carbon double bond? Lithium aluminum hydride, does it reduce? Does it reduce the carbon-carbon double bond? No. So it will remain as it is. So what will be the compound then? We have CH3. The carbon-carbon double bond will remain unaffected like this. Just अब मुझे पता है, okay, this should be perfect. This should be at the fingertips. CHO reduce होके क्या बनेगा? CHO reduce होके CH2OH group. CHO reduce होके CH2OH group बनेगा. बस I get this. So what do I get? I get but 2 in 1 all. Whereas this hydrogen and nickel is a non-selective reducing agent. It will reduce the double bond as well. Reduction of double bond means yes, hydrogen will get added out here. Reduction means addition of hydrogen, unsaturated. One hydrogen will be added out here, the other hydrogen will be added out here. So what do I get? Yes, I will get CH3, CH2, CH2. Okay, double bond reduce हुआ. It will reduce the aldehyde. CHO reduce होकर क्या बनेगा again? CH2OH. Just you have to remember this, right? CHO reduce okay, CH2H. But lithium aluminum hydride does not affect the double bond. But hydrogen and nickel, yes, it will reduce the double bond. यहाँ पर क्या है? There is a ketone cyclohexanone reducing agent, yes. Ketone gets reduced to 2 degree alcohol. CO group 2 degree alcohol means CHOH. One hydrogen is added out here, one hydrogen is added out here. Cyclohexanone. What is this? Cyclohexanol. So this is your cyclohexanone. Cyclohexanone. ONE, ketone. What is this? Alcohol. Cyclohexanol. Cyclohexanol. So here, yes, I'm treating your benzaldehyde. I'm treating your benzaldehyde with your sodium borohydride. Again, it's a reducing agent. Okay, so what is the name of this compound? The name of this compound, common name of this compound is benzaldehyde. So yes, how will I predict the product again? Yes, I have a CHO group reducing agent. The CHO group will get reduced to what? CHO group will get reduced to which functional group again? CHO will get reduced to again CH2OH. What is the name of this alcohol?
Benzyl alcohol.
Very good, excellent. I have a benzyl group out here. Okay, good. Benzyl alcohol, benzyl alcohol, benzyl alcohol. Here, I have used sodium borohydride. Remember the thing about sodium borohydride? It reduces aldehydes, ketones, acid chloride. Apart from that, it does not affect any other functional group. So I'll be doing this once more. Okay, so there are two functional groups out here. एक ketone है, यहाँ पर ester है. Okay, so sodium borohydride will have no effect on this. It does not affect this. It will only reduce the ketone. Okay, so what do I get out here? CO group. CO group will get reduced to CHOH group. So this group will remain unaffected like this. CH2, C double bond O, C2H5. It will remain unaffected. So it's so easy. We have studied just few things out here. CHO reduce okay, CH2H, CO reduce okay, CHOH. बस दो ही तो पढ़ा. CO reduce okay, CHOH, CHO reduce okay, CH2H. Reducing agent. So remember some properties about this common reducing agent. That's all. So not only your acid and not only your aldehydes and ketones. So what have we learned right now? Your carboxylic acid upon reduction. Okay, carboxylic acids upon reduction will give us 1 degree alcohol. Say I use acetic acid. I use acetic acid, CH3COOH. Lithium aluminium hydride. Again, I use lithium aluminium hydride. Fine. So I told you in that sequence, I showed you aldehyde, carboxylic acid first reduce, okay, aldehyde dega, but the reduction cannot be stopped at the aldehyde stage. The reduction cannot be stopped at the aldehyde stage. So what happens? This COH group straight away gets reduced to 1 degree alcohol. So COOH group will get reduced to CH2OH group like this. Bus. Carboxylic acid to alcohol. So these three reactions are going to be very, 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 very important. So preparation of yes alcohols by reduction of carbonyl compounds. Now we have a clear idea what is a carbon. Okay, so what is this hydration of alkenes? Okay, hydration means addition of water. Hydration means addition of water. Okay, so hydration of alkenes, say if we have an alkene like this, alkene means a compound having carbon-carbon double bond. Now hydration occurs in the presence of acid. It is known as an acid catalyzed hydration. It's known as your acid catalyzed hydration. Okay. So now what is the positive and what is the negative part in water? What is the positive and negative part in water? Yes, water may H positive and OH negative. So H positive gets added to one carbon like this. Okay, double bond will get reduced to single bond, the other OH. So if the alkene is unsymmetrical, we have to follow Marconi-Curves rule. If the alkene is unsymmetrical, yes, then we have to follow Marconi-Curves. It's so easy. So alkenes to alcohols, it can be easily prepared following Marconi-Curves rule. So suppose we have propene. Suppose we have propene out here. Suppose we have propene. Suppose we have propene like this. Okay, propene. Now, addition, hydration in presence of an acid. Now I know, yes, addition means yes, whenever we add something across a double bond, and if the alkene is unsymmetrical, yes, it has to be governed by Marconi-Curves rule. So water may, what is the positive part? Water may, H is the positive and OH is the negative. So I'll just write down like this: water, H positive, OH negative. So if I follow Marconi-Curves rule, then yes, the positive part will be added to the carbon containing greater number of hydrogen. The negative part will add to the carbon containing lesser number of hydrogen. So what do we get out here? CH3, CH, OH, single bond CH3. We get this propan-2-ol, propene to propan-2-ol. Fine. So acid catalyzed hydration of alkenes, gives us an alcohol like this, and the addition is governed by a Marconi-Curves rule. So again, let us do this. 2-methyl propene, 2-methyl propene. So what is the positive part? H. What is the negative part? OH. Positive part यहाँ पर add होगा containing greater number of hydrogen. Negative part यहाँ पर add होगा. Okay, so we get CH3, C. Bas. It's so easy. So alcohols can be prepared by acid catalyzed hydration of alkene. So it's very simple. You have to add water following Marconi-Curves rule. But one important thing, okay, one very important thing, acid catalyzed hydration of ethene. Mechanism for acid catalyzed hydration of ethene. So what is the mechanism? How does the reaction occur? Okay, how does the reaction occur? So mechanism of acid catalyzed hydration. Mechanism of acid catalyzed hydration of ethene. Fine. Okay. So this hydration is catalyzed by an acid. Okay. Say suppose we use sulfuric acid out here. We know sulfuric acid is a protonic acid. It ionizes to give us a proton, H positive and HSO4 negative. Okay, so we know the addition of water occurs in presence of an acid. So what happens in step 1? What happens in the first step? What happens in the first step? Let us see. Step 1. What happens? So an electrophile is generated, H positive. So electrophilic attack of H positive to form a carbocation. So don't worry, you don't need to remember all this language. So if you remember the mechanism, you can write this on your own. So what happens in the first step? Say we have ethene like this. Say we have ethene. So what will happen in the first step? The H positive. Where does this H positive come from? From acid. So it will attack either this carbon or this carbon. Now, if the alkene is unsymmetrical, where is this H positive going to attack it? Yeah, the alkene symmetrical, it can attack either of the carbon atom. But say if the alkene is unsymmetrical, then where will this H positive attack? Just tell me.
More number of hydrogen.
Very good, very good, excellent. If the carbon contains different number of hydrogen, this H positive is going to attack that carbon atom containing more number of hydrogen. Here it's exactly the same, it's symmetrical, so we don't have to follow any rule. Say suppose this H positive attacks out here or out here. Suppose it attacks out here. So CH3, this hydrogen is proton is getting added out here. So during addition, what will happen? The double bond will get reduced to single bond. So we have CH2 and a carbocation will be generated like this. A carbocation will be generated. Okay. So actually, what are we doing? What are we adding? Water. Water acts as a nucleophile. Why? Due to the presence of lone pair of electron, water acts as a nucleophile. Right? Okay. So in the second step, what happens? Nucleophilic attack of water. Where does it attack? Yes, on the carbocation. So this mechanism is going to be really important as far as the board exams are concerned. Fine. So there's every chance this might come in. So we have CH3, we have CH2. There's a positive charge out here. Carbocation. So what is attacking out here? Water. Attacking means what? It will form a bond through the lone pair. So we have a lone pair of electron in water. Okay, so it will attack the carbocation means through these two electrons, it will form a bond with this carbon atom like this. So what do we get? We get CH3, we have CH2, we have O. What is the definition of a catalyst? How do you define a catalyst? How do you define a catalyst? A catalyst does not participate in the reaction, but here the catalyst is participating in the reaction. Catalyst is being used up. Yes, but the definition of catalyst we know is a catalyst remains unchanged at the end of the reaction. The first electrophilic attack of proton occurs to form a carbocation, and the water nucleophile through its lone pair it forms a bond with this. So in the last step, what will happen? There will be a loss of proton. There will be a loss of proton. There will be a loss of proton to form an alcohol. So look out here. So we have CH3, CH2. So oxygen का positive charge है यहाँ पर because it has lesser number of electrons out here. Now in the first step, okay, so we have H positive and HSO4 negative is generated. So what is the role of this HSO4 negative? HSO4 negative, it's a base, so it will abstract this proton. It will abstract this proton, and these two electrons were already there. These two electrons will come back to its oxygen like this. So what is regenerated? H2SO4 is regenerated. A catalyst is regenerated at the end of the reaction. So what do we get out here? Finally, we get CH3, CH2, OH. Okay, and at the same time, a catalyst is regenerated. So this is the mechanism. This is the mechanism of acid catalyzed hydration of ethene. So it occurs in 3 steps. Okay, electrophilic attack of H positive to form a carbocation. On the positively charged carbon, nucleophilic water is going to attack out here. Oxygen still contains a positive charge because it has lesser number of electrons. It has only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 electrons. Although it should have 6 electrons, it has only 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what we will do? HSO4 abstract a proton. These 2 electrons will go to oxygen like this, giving an alcohol. Okay, so now what you do at home is you try out this, discuss the mechanism of acid catalyzed hydration of, you do it on your own, of propene. Do this mechanism of acid catalyzed hydration of propene. Do it by yourself. Okay.